As Hattori Hanzo came of age, he displayed unusual expertise in the shinobi arts, a keen sense of leadership, and political skills, all of which made him extremely important in the eyes of Tokugawa Ieyasu, a regional lord keen to cement his power during the turmoil of the Sengoku period. The bond between Hanzo and the Tokugawa began modestly, with Hanzo serving as a supporting figure, tasked with espionage, sabotage, and reconnaissance missions. His first missions, however, were so effectively executed that Tokugawa Ieyasu soon recognized Hanzo's capabilities as a strategist and commander. Upon realizing that Hanzo had skills beyond pure combat, Ieyasu entrusted him with ever greater responsibilities, employing him not only as a mission executor, but as a war and security strategy advisor. Whereas most warriors of the time were skilled in direct combat, Hanzo understood the importance of stealth, patience, and careful calculation, traits that perfectly matched Ieyasu's vision, who was a true political and military savant. This mutual understanding and increasing respect between lord and vassal cemented Hanzo's position as an essential part of the Tokugawa's protection and rise. In 1572, the Battle of Mikatahara was one of the most daunting battles Tokugawa Ieyasu and his allies faced against the forces of the legendary warlord Takeda Shingen, among the most daunted daimyo and strategists of the Sengoku period. Hattori Hanzo played a key role in this battle, spearheading an elite unit and employing groundbreaking tactics to mitigate casualties and secure Ieyasu's safe retreat, even during defeat. Takeda Shingen's forces surpassed Tokugawa's in numbers and were ranged in a formation known as fish scales, devised to withstand and absorb attacks, deflecting them to the flanks. Shingen was renowned for his cavalry troops and their capacity to mislead the enemy with quick and deadly attacks. Upon realizing the imminent threat, Tokugawa Ieyasu understood that he would need to use all his warriors and strategists to the fullest, and Hanzo, whose training came from stealth and adaptive tactics, was appointed in charge of a unit intended for guerrilla warfare and rapid operations. Hanzo arranged his elite unit to perform as a reconnaissance and holding force, using the mountainous terrain and forests of Mikatahara to lay ambushes and stall the progress of Takeda's forces. With the concoction of Iga ninjas and loyal samurai, Hanzo divided his troops into small groups, hidden on the slopes and among the trees. As Takeda's cavalry moved forward, these groups attacked by surprise, hurling projectiles and providing a diversion that slowed down the enemy's progress and sapped the morale of Shingen's troops. One of Hanzo's innovative strategies was to use makeshift traps, such as hidden holes and natural barricades made of branches and stones, which hampered the passage of the cavalry and shattered the lines of Shingen. With Hanzo's ability to apply these guerrilla strategies, along with the use of the terrain to his benefit, Tokugawa's samurai could regroup and mount a more coordinated defense. The battle intensified rapidly, however, and Takeda's troops, working with agility and accuracy, started to push back Tokugawa's forces. Faced with a critical situation, Ieyasu chose to retreat to save what was left of his army. Hanzo once again displayed his leadership and planning skills, taking command of his unit to ensure that the retreat was conducted in a safe and orderly manner. He ordered his men to retreat in a controlled way, taking steps to cover the retreat of Tokugawa and the top commanders. By constantly moving, Hanzo managed to elicit the impression that there were more troops than there were, misleading the enemy and ensuring that Ieyasu could retreat in relative safety. Hanzo also exercised a psychological strategy during this retreat by beating war drums and lighting bonfires around Tokugawa's camp, implying that the troops were ready for a counteroffensive. The strategy, known as the Empty Fortress, deterred Takeda's troops, who were reluctant to advance, fearing a trap. While the Battle of Mikatahara resulted in defeat for Tokugawa Ieyasu, the role played by Hattori Hanzo was vital in saving Ieyasu's life and salvaging the core of his forces. His bravery and swift thinking on the front line turned a potentially disastrous defeat into a strategic withdrawal that allowed the Tokugawa to regroup and fortify their defenses for future battles. Hanzo's action in this battle established his reputation as a wily and courageous commander, whose groundbreaking tactics, paired with his thorough knowledge of the shinobi art, made it possible for him to take on superior forces and protect his lord during adversity. By enduring this battle and making his way back to his territory, Ieyasu knew that, with warriors like Hattori Hanzo at his side, he could defeat even the most fearsome of foes. The factual evidence of Hanzo's loyalty and Tokugawa's trust in him occurred during one of the most dramatic stages of the Sengoku period, Akechi Mitsuhide's betrayal of Oda Nobunaga, Ieyasu's mighty ally. In 1582, while staying near Osaka, Tokugawa Ieyasu was told of Nobunaga's assassination by Mitsuhide, a betrayal that sparked a chaotic and uncertain time. Aware that Mitsuhide's forces would be out looking for him, Ieyasu found himself in need of a safe route to escape. Tokugawa Ieyasu found himself stranded and vulnerable in hostile territory. Upon understanding the gravity of the situation, Tokugawa Ieyasu made the decision to return to his territory of Mikawa to gather forces and protect himself against possible pursuit. But the road to Mikawa was both long and dangerous, crossing mountains, forests, and roads guarded by Mitsuhide's forces. That was when Hattori Hanzo sprang into action with the bold plan to protect his master and guide him through the province of Iga, where Hanzo had strong ties with the local shinobi warriors. To secure Ieyasu's safety, Hanzo rallied his entire contact network and allies in Iga, secretly sending messages and signals that called on local ninjas and samurai to join the cause. They would have to use uncharted routes and perilous trails to escape, far from Mitsuhide's patrols. With Hanzo heading the way, Ieyasu and his small group of followers set off for Iga territory, where they could count on the protection of men experienced in infiltration, spying, and stealth combat. When Ieyasu and his group arrived at Otogi Pass, they were greeted by an escort of around 300 Iga ninja, all of whom were loyal to Hanzo and ready to make any sacrifice to ensure Tokugawa's safety. During the crossing, Hanzo and his warriors used the mountain's terrain and dense forests to camouflage their movements and avoid any direct encounters with enemies. They set up ambushes and false barriers, confusing possible pursuers and eliminating any spies who might track the group. Every move was calculated to keep Ieyasu safe and out of reach of Mitsuhide's forces. Hanzo coordinated sneak attacks with Iga's ninjas, who launched surprise attacks against groups of bandits or enemy patrols that dared to approach. Hanzo's ability to arrange these swift and lethal strikes made sure that Ieyasu was never exposed to a dangerous situation. Following days of tension and constant vigilance, the group finally made it to Iga territory, and into the safety of Mikawa's domains. Tokugawa Ieyasu had escaped unharmed, owing to the ruthless and ingenious leadership of Hattori Hanzo. This heroic deed cemented Hanzo's reputation as a shinobi master and loyal protector, and it marked a turning point in the relationship between him and Ieyasu. From then on, Hanzo was not only seen as a ninja commander, but as Ieyasu's personal guardian and a trusted figure. In exchange for his courage and service, Tokugawa Ieyasu granted Hanzo a prominent role in his army, giving him command of an elite unit of 200 ninjas from Iga. Under Hanzo's leadership, this unit, the Hanzomon, became the personal guard of Tokugawa and the Shogunate's Special Operations Force, charged with protecting Ieyasu and his successors. This prime position was the peak of Hanzo's rise and epitomized their complete integration into the Tokugawa power structure. His influence and reputation spread, and the name Hattori Hanzo became synonymous with unwavering devotion, strategy, and courage.